Today, I'm revealing the specific form of magnesium that can relax your arteries and stabilize your blood pressure without causing the digestive issues so many seniors face. I'm about to show you why most people over 60 are buying the wrong bottle at the grocery store and how this simple mistake is keeping your numbers higher than they should be. Starting today, you can stop guessing which supplement to pick and start using the one that actually works for your cardiovascular health and vessel elasticity. This approach allows you to take control of your daily readings with a clear understanding of how minerals interact with your aging heart. I remember a man named Robert who was 66 years old and felt constant frustration because his systolic blood pressure would not stay below 150 despite his best efforts. He was struggling with a racing heart and sudden bouts of fatigue that made him worried his heart was simply getting too old to keep up with his daily walks. You might feel worried that your current health plan is failing or that your body is no longer responding to traditional advice, leading to a sense of uncertainty about your future mobility. Your doctor might have been telling you that any magnesium supplement is fine as long as you take it, but this general information often overlooks how different types of magnesium affect the senior gut and vascular system. Before we dive in, drop a comment telling me your age and what your usual top blood pressure number range is during your morning check. I want to hear your experience so we can support each other in this community. One simple way to help lower your blood pressure today is by soaking your feet in a warm bath of magnesium sulfate, commonly known as Epsom salts. This method allows the magnesium to be absorbed through the skin, which bypasses the digestive system entirely and provides an immediate calming effect on the nervous system and the small muscles surrounding your arteries. When these tiny muscles relax, the blood vessels widen, allowing blood to flow more freely and with less resistance, which naturally brings your numbers down. This is an excellent same-day lever, because it works quickly to reduce the physical stress that often accumulates in the lower extremities and the cardiovascular system throughout a long day. Shirley was a 71-year-old woman who came to see me because her blood pressure would always spike in the late evening, making her feel anxious and unable to rest. She had tried taking oral magnesium tablets in the past, but they always upset her stomach and caused her to run to the bathroom, which only increased her stress and her blood pressure numbers. When Shirley started doing a 20-minute Epsom salt foot soak every evening at 7 o'clock, she noticed a significant change in her relaxation levels and a 10-point drop in her evening systolic readings. This simple ritual allowed her to transition into a peaceful night without the digestive distress she had feared for so many years. Shirley's story shows that you do not always have to swallow a pill to get the mineral benefits your heart and vessels desperately need to function at their best. The reason this works so well for seniors is that the skin is a very efficient gateway for minerals when the water temperature is kept comfortably warm but not hot. Epsom salts contain magnesium and sulfate, both of which play a role in relaxing the smooth muscle tissues that line your entire circulatory system. When you submerge your feet, the warmth helps to dilate the local blood vessels, and the magnesium ions begin to move into your system to signal the heart to slow its pace slightly. This creates a systemic cool-down effect that is very gentle on the body and does not require the liver or kidneys to process a heavy dose of a supplement all at once. To do this at home, find a basin or a foot tub that is deep enough to cover your ankles and fill it with warm water that feels soothing to the touch. Add about half a cup of high-quality Epsom salts to the water and stir it with your hand until the crystals are completely dissolved. Sit in a comfortable chair where your back is supported and soak your feet for exactly 20 minutes while practicing slow, deep breathing through your nose. It is important to avoid using water that is too hot, as extreme heat can actually cause a temporary spike in blood pressure as your heart works to cool you down. Most older adults can try this safely every night or even just 3 times a week to see a noticeable difference in their baseline numbers. This supports steadier readings and a more relaxed evening routine. 2. You should consider using magnesium malate during the morning hours to help improve the elasticity of your blood vessels and boost your energy levels without a laxative effect. Magnesium malate is a combination of magnesium and malic acid, which is a natural substance found in fruits that plays a key role in how your cells create energy. For seniors who often feel stiff in the morning or notice that their blood pressure is higher when they are tired, this specific form of magnesium can be a game changer. It is highly absorbable and tends to stay in the system longer than other forms, providing a steady supply of mineral support to the arterial walls throughout your most active hours. Harold was a 65-year-old man who loved to garden, but he found that his morning blood pressure readings were always high and his muscles felt incredibly tight and heavy. He was taking a standard magnesium oxide supplement he bought at a big box store, but it wasn't helping his blood pressure and was causing him significant stomach discomfort every afternoon. Once Harold switched to a high-quality magnesium malate in the morning with his breakfast, he noticed that his morning stiffness began to fade and his systolic pressure stayed much more consistent during his outdoor activities. He felt like he had more natural stamina to finish his yard work, and he no longer had to worry about the sudden, urgent trips to the bathroom that his previous supplement had caused. Subscribe for more simple senior health tips that help you navigate these small but vital choices. The simple explanation for why malate is so effective is that malic acid helps the magnesium enter the mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of your cells. When the cells in your heart and your blood vessel walls have enough energy, they can perform their jobs of contracting and relaxing much more efficiently. In many older adults, the blood vessels become stiff like an old garden hose, but providing the right nutrients can help maintain the flexibility of those tissues. This helps prevent the pounding sensation in the ears or chest that often accompanies high blood pressure during physical exertion or stress. To use this correctly, look for a supplement labeled specifically as magnesium malate and check that the dose is appropriate for your age, which is usually around 100 to 200 milligrams for a morning dose. Take it with a full glass of room temperature water and a small meal that contains a little bit of healthy fat, like an egg or some avocado, to help with the absorption process. Avoid taking it at the same time as a high-fiber cereal or a calcium supplement, as these can sometimes compete with the magnesium and prevent it from getting into your bloodstream. Most seniors find that taking this form in the morning helps them feel more fluid and alert as they go about their daily tasks. This supports steadier readings throughout the busy daytime hours. 3. Another helpful step is choosing magnesium glycinate for your evening routine to promote deeper sleep and encourage a healthy nighttime blood pressure dip. Magnesium glycinate is magnesium bound to glycine, an amino acid that has a direct calming effect on the brain and the central nervous system. In a healthy body, blood pressure should naturally drop by 10 to 20% during sleep, which gives the heart a much-needed rest. However, many seniors are non-dippers, meaning their pressure stays high all night, which can put a significant strain on the cardiovascular system over time. Magnesium glycinate is widely considered the gold standard for seniors because it is the most gentle on the stomach and the most effective at promoting physical and mental relaxation. George was a 69-year-old man who was concerned because his doctor noted that his blood pressure remained elevated even during his sleep studies. He was a light sleeper who often woke up feeling restless, and his morning readings were always higher than his evening readings, which is a sign that his body wasn't recovering at night. After George started taking magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed, he found that he fell asleep much faster and stayed asleep for longer stretches of time. More importantly, his doctor observed that his nighttime blood pressure finally began to dip into the healthy range, which significantly reduced George's risk of future heart complications. His story is a great example of how choosing the right form of a mineral can solve multiple health problems at once. Recent studies have revealed that chelated magnesium, like magnesium glycinate, has a much higher absorption rate in adults over 60 compared to cheaper, non-chelated versions. These studies show that as we age, our stomach acid naturally decreases, making it harder for the body to break down tough mineral tablets. Because magnesium glycinate is already bound to an amino acid, it doesn't require as much stomach acid to be absorbed, which means more of the mineral actually reaches your heart and your brain. Mentioning these recent studies helps us understand that the quality of the supplement is often more important than the total number of milligrams listed on the front of the bottle. To implement this into your life, look for buffered or chelated magnesium glycinate and aim to take it about 30 to 60 minutes before you plan to turn off the lights. You only need a small amount of water to swallow the capsule, as you want to avoid drinking too much liquid right before bed to prevent nighttime bathroom trips. If you find that you are particularly sensitive to supplements, you can start with a very small dose and gradually increase it over 2 weeks until you find the level that helps you sleep best. Most older adults find that this habit not only improves their blood pressure, but also reduces nighttime leg cramps and restless legs. This supports a healthy nighttime dip and better morning numbers. 4. You must follow the 20-minute rest rule after taking any mineral supplement before you attempt to measure your blood pressure at home. When you take a supplement or a medication, your body has to work to digest and absorb it, which can cause a very slight and temporary increase in your heart rate and metabolic activity. If you rush to put on your blood pressure cuff immediately after taking your magnesium, you might see a number that is higher than your true baseline, which can lead to unnecessary worry. By waiting at least 20 minutes, you allow the supplement to begin its work and give your body time to return to a state of total rest. Alice was a 74-year-old woman who was very diligent about tracking her health, but she was constantly confused by her jumpy numbers. She had a habit of taking all of her vitamins and minerals with her morning coffee and then immediately sitting down to take her blood pressure reading. Because the act of swallowing, the slight stimulation of the supplements, and the caffeine from the coffee were all hitting her system at once, her readings were always 5 to 10 points higher than they should have been. Once Alice learned to take her magnesium, wait 20 minutes while listening to calm music, and then take her reading, she saw much more accurate and lower numbers. She realized that her high blood pressure was often just a result of her poor timing and lack of patience during the measurement process. To get the most accurate reading at home, you must create a sacred space for your measurement routine that is free from distractions and noise. Ensure that your arm is supported at heart level on a table or the arm of a chair, and that your feet are flat on the floor without your legs being crossed. The cuff should be placed directly on your bare skin, not over a sleeve, and it should be snug but not uncomfortably tight. It is helpful to take your reading at the same time every day to ensure consistency in your data, preferably after you have had a small glass of water, but before you have engaged in any stressful chores. This is a crucial part of accurate home BP measurement that many people overlook in their daily rush. Always remember to check your cuff size, as using a standard cuff on an arm that is very thin or very muscular can give you a false reading that might lead your doctor to make incorrect decisions about your care. If you are unsure if your cuff fits correctly, bring it with you to your next doctor's appointment and ask the nurse to check it against their professional equipment. Most seniors find that having a consistent, calm routine reduces white coat syndrome, even at home, and provides a much clearer picture of how their magnesium habit is actually working. You can do this at home with very little effort, and it will give you a much greater sense of control over your health journey. This supports more accurate data and less overall anxiety. When you are starting a new magnesium routine, it is always a good idea to be cautious if you have been diagnosed with advanced kidney issues. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering out excess minerals, and if they are not functioning at full strength, magnesium can sometimes build up in the system more than it should. It is a simple matter of checking with your healthcare provider to ensure your mineral intake matches your kidney's ability to process it. For most healthy seniors, however, the forms we have discussed, malate, glycinate, and sulfate, are very safe and are much better tolerated than the cheap oxide versions found in most pharmacies. This supports a long-term strategy for heart health that is both safe and effective. Another helpful cue is to pay attention to your gentle micro-anchors throughout the day, such as noticing when your heart feels calm or when your breathing feels easy. Magnesium is often called the spark of life because it is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the human body, including the electrical signals that tell your heart when to beat. When you provide the right form of this mineral, you are giving your heart the tools it needs to maintain a steady, rhythmic pace. This is easy on the joints and easy on the mind, making it one of the most effective tools for senior health. Most older adults can try these steps safely and will notice a difference in their overall sense of well-being within just a few weeks of consistent use. As you move through these steps, keep in mind that the goal is not a quick fix, but a steady improvement in how your blood vessels function. By using the foot soak for immediate relief, the mallet for daytime energy, and the glycinate for nighttime rest, you are covering all the bases of cardiovascular support. You are also ensuring that your measurement technique is solid, so you can trust the progress you are seeing in your daily logs. This approach is simple, direct, and senior-friendly, focusing on what actually works for a body that has seen many years of life. This supports steadier readings and a much more predictable health journey as you continue to age with grace and strength. Stay focused on these small changes, and you will find that managing your blood pressure becomes a natural and stress-free part of your daily life. Please subscribe for more simple blood pressure and senior health tips as we continue to explore the best ways to keep your heart healthy and your numbers low. Another helpful step is to focus on a magnesium-rich food pattern, specifically by incorporating pumpkin and squash seeds along with dark leafy greens into your daily meals to sustain your mineral levels between supplements. While supplements are excellent for correcting a deficiency, getting magnesium from whole food sources ensures a steady, slow release of nutrients into your bloodstream, which helps avoid the roller coaster effect of peak and drop levels that can sometimes occur with pills alone. Seeds and greens also provide fiber, which supports healthy digestion and can indirectly benefit your blood pressure by helping your body manage weight and reduce internal inflammation. By layering your mineral intake through both food and high-quality supplements, you create a robust foundation for arterial health that lasts all day and night. Sam was a 62-year-old man who had recently retired and was determined to get his blood pressure under control after years of high-stress office work. He was taking his magnesium glycinate every night, but he found that by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, his systolic numbers would begin to creep back up into the high 140s. He realized that his body was burning through his morning mineral supply too quickly because his diet consisted mostly of processed breads and pasta, which are very low in magnesium. When Sam started adding 2 tablespoons of roasted pumpkin seeds to his morning oatmeal and having a large serving of steamed spinach with his dinner, his afternoon numbers stabilized significantly. He no longer felt that midday crash, and his heart felt much more rhythmic and calm throughout his afternoon walks. This food-first approach works because magnesium found in plants is naturally packaged with other beneficial compounds that help with absorption, such as vitamin B6 and potassium. When you eat a handful of seeds, your body processes those minerals slowly over several hours, providing a consistent drip of magnesium to your blood vessel walls. This constant presence of minerals helps the smooth muscle tissues in your arteries stay relaxed and flexible, preventing the tightness that causes pressure to rise. For many seniors, adding these specific foods is a very same-day lever because the body can begin utilizing these nutrients almost as soon as digestion begins. It is a simple, direct way to support your cardiovascular system without adding any extra complexity to your morning routine. To implement this, keep a jar of unsalted pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds on your kitchen counter where you can easily see them. Try to add a small handful to your salads, soups, or even your morning yogurt. You only need about an ounce a day to make a significant impact on your mineral totals. Additionally, make it a goal to have at least 1 serving of dark leafy greens, such as Swiss chard, kale, or spinach, with your largest meal of the day. If you find greens difficult to chew, you can lightly steam them or even blend them into a simple fruit smoothie to make them easier on the joints of the jaw and more senior-friendly. Most older adults find that these small dietary additions make them feel more energetic and less reliant on higher doses of pills. This supports steadier readings through consistent nutrition. One more easy change is learning how to identify the wrong magnesium, specifically magnesium oxide, and understanding why it is often a waste of money for seniors with sensitive systems. Magnesium oxide is one of the most common forms found in grocery stores because it is very cheap to manufacture and has a long shelf life. However, recent studies have revealed that the absorption rate for magnesium oxide is as low as 4%, meaning the vast majority of the mineral never even enters your bloodstream. Instead, it stays in your intestines, where it draws in water and acts as a harsh laxative, which can lead to dehydration. For a senior, dehydration is a major trigger for blood pressure spikes and heart palpitations, making this cheap supplement potentially counterproductive for your health goals. Martha was 80 years old and was very budget conscious, so she always bought the largest, cheapest bottle of magnesium oxide she could find at her local pharmacy. She couldn't understand why she was suffering from constant stomach pain and loose stools, and she was even more confused because her blood pressure seemed to drop and then spike wildly every single day. Her body was reacting to the digestive irritation caused by the oxide, and the resulting dehydration was making her blood thicker and harder to pump. Once Martha stopped taking the oxide and switched to a high-quality chelated magnesium, her digestive issues cleared up within 3 days and her blood pressure became much more predictable. She realized that she wasn't actually saving money by buying the cheap version because it was causing more problems than it was solving. The simple explanation is that the chemical bond in magnesium oxide is very difficult for the aging stomach to break apart, especially since our production of stomach acid naturally declines as we get older. If the bond isn't broken, the magnesium cannot be absorbed into the blood to help your heart. It simply moves through your system like a grain of sand. This is why you should always look at the back of the label and avoid any product where magnesium oxide is the primary ingredient. This is a crucial rule for anyone over 60 who wants to protect their gut health while managing their cardiovascular numbers. Most seniors are surprised to find that many name-brand vitamins still use this low-quality form to save on costs. To avoid this mistake, always check the supplement facts panel on the back of the bottle and look for words ending in "ate," such as glycinate, malate, or orotate. If the label says magnesium complex or magnesium blend, make sure oxide is not the first thing listed, as manufacturers often pad their products with cheap oxide to make the milligram count look higher. It is better to take a smaller dose of a high-quality, absorbable mineral than a massive dose of a form your body cannot use. You can do this at home by simply checking your current vitamin cabinet and replacing any oxide bottles with the more senior-friendly forms we have discussed today. This supports more effective absorption and prevents unnecessary digestive stress. Another helpful step is to understand the long-term synergy of the magnesium-potassium balance, often called the pump rule for arterial health. Your heart and blood vessels rely on a delicate balance between these two minerals to manage the electrical signals that control your heart rate and the physical tension in your vessel walls. Magnesium acts as a blocker that keeps too much calcium from entering the cells, while potassium helps to flush excess sodium out of your system. If you have plenty of magnesium but are low on potassium, your body will still struggle to keep your blood pressure in the healthy range. By focusing on both, you create a powerful synergy that allows your cardiovascular system to function with much less effort. Frank was a 73-year-old man who had seen some improvement with his magnesium supplements, but he felt like he had hit a plateau where his numbers wouldn't go any lower. He was still seeing readings in the high 130s and felt like he was missing a piece of the puzzle. When Frank started consciously pairing his magnesium habit with potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocados, and coconut water, he saw his systolic pressure drop another 8 points within 2 weeks. He described it as feeling like a weight had been lifted from his chest, and his daily energy levels became much more stable. Frank's experience shows that these minerals work as a team, and supporting that team is the best way to see long-term results. This synergy is vital because potassium and magnesium together help to manage the sodium-potassium pump in every single cell of your body. When this pump is working correctly, it keeps the fluid levels inside and outside your cells perfectly balanced, which is the key to maintaining a steady blood volume. For seniors, this is especially important because our bodies become more sensitive to the effects of salt as we age. By ensuring you have enough mineral power from both magnesium and potassium, you make your body more resilient against the occasional salty meal or stressful day. This is an easy-to-follow long-term lever that most older adults can start today by simply being mindful of their fruit and vegetable intake alongside their mineral routine. To put this into practice, try to have one potassium-rich snack at the same time you take your morning magnesium malate. A small banana or a half of an avocado is usually enough to provide the necessary balance for your system to thrive. If you are on certain types of blood pressure medications, such as ACE inhibitors or potassium-sparing diuretics, you should be cautious about adding too much extra potassium and always check with your healthcare provider first. For most seniors, however, getting these minerals from whole foods is a safe and effective way to enhance the benefits of their magnesium habit. This approach supports a stronger heart and more flexible arteries over the long haul. If you know someone over 50 who could benefit from this, share this video and subscribe for more simple blood pressure tips.